Hi everyone, I am Malak and today I'm going to discuss my oral exam presentation. I've shared a post on my class Facebook group and I asked my family and friends to say their opinion if really life 100 years ago was easier than it is today or not. So here is the Facebook group and the post. The first comment we have is my father's comment. He said that this era was called the humanity's golden era. So he agrees that life was easier than it is 100 years ago. My friend Rawan say that it was not easier, but they lived peacefully because they didn't work hard and they didn't put effort in their lives. Yeah, this is a nice point of view. My uncle say that life was not easier, but people followed a simple lifestyle. They didn't have to follow a hard and a complicated daily schedule to manage or handle their daily life. So they lived a easy life. My uncle's wife totally agree that life 100 years ago was easier. My teacher, Miss Naha, say that physically their life was much more harder and they suffered and struggled a lot. This is actually right. And the all coming comments agree that they didn't live their life was not easier. People at this time lived a hard life, but they followed a simple lifestyle, and actually this was right because at this time there were many crises, wars, diseases. Medicine at this time was miserable. The world was recovering from one of its greatest pandemics, which was the Spanish flu. It was during the World War II, and most of doctors were men. Women didn't get to complete their education and then go to college to be doctors. And medicine at this time was not advanced as it is today. For example, today we have devices to measure our heartbeats. 100 years ago we didn't have this device. Today we have a device to measure our blood pressure, for example. 100 years ago we didn't have it. So it was really hard to recover from a pandemic like the Spanish flu. Let's go to education. Children's place at this time wasn't school, especially poor children, because at this time poor families didn't allow their children to go to school. They believed that it's better to stay home and help them in the housework, for example, or work in factories and gain money. And plus the high school or high education at this time was really expensive, and we can say that high education at this time was only available for rich families. Women at this time didn't get the right to learn, or actually most of people at this time, it's not important to educate a woman because at the end she will marry and she will raise her children, so it's not important to educate her. Let's go to economy. Economy at this time depended on oil, steel, and food production. This was prosperous business at this time. And the industry that came and improved the whole economic system of the world was the birth of the automobile industry. First, automobile cars nowadays was a weird invention, and then it became an industry that improved the whole economic system of the world at this time. Let's go to social life. Women finally get the right to vote. Before the 1900s, women weren't allowed to vote. They weren't allowed to. Actually, they weren't allowed to do a lot of things. But finally, they get the right to vote. They believe that women are humans and they have the right to vote. A tradition at this time was that large families, grandparents, parents, uncles, aunts, and children lived in a big mansion